Welcome back to We Race Conversations, where we spoke with Paul and the crew over at CPR Racing.
Yes, we've been always told that the world is round, but the guys at CPR Racing, yeah, they proved us wrong. Take a look.
First of all, no drinking and driving. Good evening, we're here at CPR Equipment Services and we're here with the people behind, well, some of the people behind CPR Racing. Some of the guys here work here, some are members of the racing team, but everybody contributes together and together, that's the team.
Trevon Henry, Samuel Joshua,
AKA
Dan Wola.
Alright.
Drew, aka Instruments.
Alright.
Lance, aka Dread. Antonio Lawrence.
And you have me, Paul, sorry.
And yeah, go ahead.
Oh boy.
And then you have me, Paul, aka Bucky.
Yeah, so CPR Racing basically started as a bunch of Subaru guys together, namely Cordell Phoenix, aka Phoenix Built, Wayne Marshall Spencer, myself, and Paul. That started in about 2015, 16, 15.
Would have been the end of not last year, the year before. So yeah,
15.
end of 2015.
So 2015, shortly after Don Roller came on, I beat him and brought him on the team like a Pokemon, owned him. Right? So that's basically how CPR Racing started.
Yeah, Samuel came on board, when was it, about 8 months ago now? 6 months?
8 months ago, yeah.
About 8 months ago now. Since then, basically, he's well versed in obviously all there is with engines and building engines, with Hondas like the one behind of you. But he's come on board, he's translated that well into Subarus, and he's basically our primary engine builder now when we have rebuilds on engines. He's done work on my engine, he's done work on Drew's engine. Cordell is also the other person that pitches in. Cordell has a busy work schedule, so we fit in, everybody kind of helps in and chips in where we can. Lance and Antonio here. Antonio's not a full-time mechanic, and Lance is the apprentice mechanic here. So everybody pitches in and does their work and helps with different things. Everybody has their little niche and specialty. So everybody pitches in and makes the team work and function and run and gets us to all the events so we can actually show up and perform.
Okay. So Lance, tell us a little bit about how you fit into CPR Racing from your perspective.
Okay, well, when it comes to getting everything ready, I'm the guy, I know where everything is in this place. You know what I mean? So when it comes to loading up the race gas, the tires, slicks, when you reach to the track, make sure tire pressure is okay, make sure everything's bolted down, and just make sure everything is safe for the race.
Okay. All right. And Antonio?
Well, I'm one of the mechanics. I help Samuel sometimes with putting in the engines, getting the gearbox sorted out, and those kind of things.
Youngstown also helps do the heavy lifting, and the gearbox have to go in and so.
Yes. Well, that's
They come very, very much in handy for that.
Okay.
Samson, yeah.
Well, to be honest, I came here about a month ago. I know Samuel and Antonio, so they got me here. Basically, I do everything on here. Like if they want help with any stuff, I wash them and so.
All right.
Basically, Trevon basically does. We took him on about a month ago, so he does most of the outside washing the cars after the service, keeping them getting nice and clean for the customers. And then when there's other jobs around in here, he helps Samuel and Antonio and Lance. Basic things they need doing here and there. If there's an extra service doing, he'll help and give a lending hand with that.
Yeah, so basically I like dominoes, right? I played a lot of dominoes. I'm always home, right? Home or dominoes, and outside that is HD Brokerage. So if you need a car cleared, just give me a call, 717-8767. I got you.
Yeah, I work here at CPR Equipment Services. I'm the sales and operations manager, so I basically oversee all of our sales activities and general day-to-day operations. Make sure checks go in and out, make sure everything's working smoothly in the workshop, parts, yeah.
So I work at CPR. I'm the main technician. I build engines, and out of that, I do body works. And my whole life is just surrounded by cars. That's all I do.
if you want other engines built, Samuel can sort you out outside of here, but Subaru engines come in here to get built. We make you go fast.
I would say about 8. To be honest, you need more mental fitness than physical fitness or weight, right? Yes, you try to reduce weight or whatever, but for turbocharged guys, weight of a driver doesn't matter that much. So the mental fitness, I'd say 10.
Yeah, pretty much the same. It's not so much physical fitness. Anybody can drive once I think you have the mental state. You have to keep yourself calm, relaxed, and just make sure you do what you do by the seat of your pants kind of thing. If you overthink it, you're gonna kind of, run into problems. Other than that, physical fitness doesn't really matter. Obviously, smaller people help a little bit. Weight is everything in racing. So, other than that, I would say not too much.
Yeah, the mental fitness is the most important because you can't get scared in any event. If the car pulls to the left or the right, you have to just control it. Can't be scared.
Just drive.
We can start with over there.
Well, I drive turbo cars, I drive nitrous cars, but I like the all-motor car because I'm trying to squeeze everything out of the engine normally, so I get a joy doing that.
Well, boost. Breeze, more breeze, right? And that's the reason this all-motor guy to my right, has never beaten me, right? Because I have breeze, boost.
Yeah, for me, definitely turbo. Pretty much all the cars I've ever had in my life really were turbocharged, apart from the Forester I had back then. So yeah, boost is the way.
I've
More boost.
never felt nitro. Someday I would love to feel it.
It's the bomb.
I would say that too, but it's gonna be
So-
on top of the boost. When you run out of boost, then you squeeze the nitro.
I'm not against nitro at all, but
Never had
boost.
experience. The last time we tried to mess with nitro, it didn't really work at all.
So it blew the engine or?
No, we
Just lost some money.
It
that's
didn't work. That's when we went to go and race Ronald and
Oh.
Janai. That was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Tried to put a nitro kit in the car, Tarek.
Stick it
Sabotage
open.
nitro kit, so
Stick
we
it
couldn't
open.
run.
Yeah.
So we went and we still showed up. We're not gonna back out of a race, so we lost in the end, but we still showed up and did pretty good. Left Ronald out the hole.
Well, I always see people missing gears and I didn't like that. So I never wanted to be the person who just always missing all the gears. So I never really look up to no one.
Well, I started racing when I got a text from a guy with a Ronex, right? And this guy, for some strange reason, thought that $1,000 worth of reasons he could beat my WRX Impreza, right? So for that $1,000, I was like, no, you're not sure enough. Let's make it 2, right? So we made it 2, and I took his money. That's how I started racing. $2,000 worth of reasons. I have no problem with that.
Well, not really to do with drag racing, but Formula One, Michael Schumacher. I would say after he left Formula One, I kind of already stopped watching. Grew up watching him race, so I would say if anybody had to pin it down to his name.
Well, racing Jew. Like, we left the line together. I passed him in 3rd gear. I look back at him. I'm like, yo, what is man, the miss gear? And then when we look forward, he passed me. So we're like, Tad, oh my God. So we step back and then me miss 4th gear. And then he won. But that's life.
I don't have 1. I have about 3, right? That race you just mentioned, which is the 2nd race we ever did, I think. But the first race we ever did, in 2014, Legendary Drugs. Again, left him out the hole, and I just heard a car behind me screaming like hell. And I'm like, oh God, this guy is coming. And then he got to my side, like literally by my window. And then I heard, he missed a gear. And I was like, that's it, can't bang me again. Right? We literally crossed the line together. It was like a hairline. I didn't know who won until I got back to the start. But winning the 11-second class, Legendary Drugs 16.
Yeah, 2016, yeah.
2016, that definitely was a memorable thing for me because that's what I set out to do. That's what I built my car for, and I got it.
For me, it would have to be Team Drag Wars 2016 when I raced with Helter Skelter. We ended up winning out 11-second class with the car, and I think as a team we tied overall for the win. It was Helter Skelter, Sidewalk Mechanics, and Raven, I think, because it was all based on who won different classes. But that was my most memorable moment. It was the first time I've won out of class. So yeah, definitely that.
My personal best is 10.7. I cannot remember the mile per hour, but 10.7 is the best time I've done so far. Still trying to work on it. I want to be the fastest 2-liter in the Caribbean. Right? I think a hatch in Jamaica right now is running like 10.4. So anywhere around 10.3, I want to get there. Try and beat them.
Yeah, it's always a bug-eye wagon in Jamaica, so bug-eye team still going strong and fast, CJ20 in the Caribbean.
I think I'm second, to be honest.
Second, I think they have, second or third. Yeah.
So as soon as you break that record, just let me know so I can, alright, good. Alright.
My personal best in my car is 11.5 all motor.
Fast.
No nervous. Fastest all motor in Antigua. But I build.
Not fast Almotor. Lewis have that fastest Honda Almotor.
Yeah, fastest Honda Almotor.
And if you squeeze or not, the baccalaureate in the gas.
I built another car, a Turbo EG. My best time in that is 10.6. Yeah.
Boost.
My personal best is 10.41 at 132 miles.
So we have 10-second club.
Easy.
Sick. Alright.
Let me answer that. First of all, Judge, you need to tap your trippiness. Right? Drag racing is a part of motorsport, right? And it is a sport. Just like domino is a sport, people look down on dominoes. Oh, you just sit around a board. Just like how war is a sport, so is drag racing, right? And so, as such, the media needs to come on board because we can market this as a Caribbean hub. During the winter season, we bring the cars from the US to the Caribbean, right? Antigua leading, of course, at the North Sound International Raceway, and we start leading out from there. I think the Antiguan public never gave up on drag racing, right? From John I days to now, the crowd still comes out. The association, I think, Yusuf and back to me, but time is something that people have to respect. The crowd doesn't want to be there waiting and not see a race. When they say race, it's race. No testing. If people don't come, just disqualify them. They're upset, that's it. Come next year. They know to do better. Right? That's one of the things that the sport or the association in Antigua needs to work on. Time, basically announcing races, that type of thing. Let the crowd know what's going on. Because at the end of the day, we're having fun now. We don't really, well, I love to win. Right? I want to win. But did you win? You know, I love to win, right? So at the end of the day, for the racers, it's fun. But for the spectators that are spending their money, they want to know who's racing, what time this car did, where this car is from, which team, that type of thing. So just keeping the public informed, I think that's the way forward.
I would say basically the motorsports culture in Antigua is very strong locally, but we need to export our product regionally and internationally. In terms of, if we get a car that maybe we can send to the States to race up there and represent Antigua, Abdra, everything, as well as we invite a lot of countries here, but most of our cars never really leave the country. Everybody comes here, going to other countries and racing in different countries. But a lot of that comes to sponsors getting on board and sponsors who can see the value that they're going to get out of being involved in drag racing and racing in general. I would say motorsport in Antigua is something that everybody from little kids, all the way up to big men and women are involved in and are very enthusiastic about. So if we can all pool together, that kind of enthusiasm and export that kind of enthusiasm in our racing product, it'll help to do a lot for motorsport in Antigua.
Well, Paul and you said it all. Like, I don't have nothing to say about that. They basically said everything that we could do to improve the motorsports. Well, I will be running 10 seconds our Moto B series and beating you.
Well, to my fans and followers, yeah, I must say for 2018, I think I'll be taking a little break from drag racing. I'll be assisting my teammates, namely Paul and Dan Roller, Cordell. I hope he makes it to the track this year. Wayne, right? So I'll be somewhat in the background. Marcus, I'll be somewhat in the background for 2018. Once I gather my footing, I'll be back to, like I say, break that 2-liter record for the EJ20. Right? So for 2018, I'll be in the background helping Paul, Dan Roller, Cordell, Wayne, Marcus. Team CPR Racing.
Well, I hope to have my next project running sometime this year.
Top secret.
No, that's not the top secret one.
And he
My
doesn't
next
want to show it
project
off?
running sometime, hopefully by the middle of this year. We'll see how that goes along, and then another long-term project which we're going to start. People won't see that for a little while. Everything's under covers and wraps right now, but it'll soon come to light. And yeah, I think 2018 we'll get back down and we'll start running some better times than we were last year, and looking to break into the single digits at least.
SR Killer.
Any Evo, so.
SR Mizel.
SR, which SR? Oh, any Nissan then. If they want, bring it.
Is that all, guys?
Winsky and less friends. Well, if anybody needs racing fuel, we're basically your hub for racing fuel. We have all of the VP racing fuels, which you can see banner behind me and over here, and Ignite ethanol, E85, 114. They have for other products, but we stock that at all times. And as well as VP, we stock C16, C12, M5, nitro-meth for the people who want to get a little bit crazy. And yeah. And big up to HD Brokerage over here, who deals with all of our brokerage for all of our vehicles, all of the racing fuel, and also all of our parts and other products. Highly recommended.